Jake Benson was just an ordinary boy. He lived in a small town with his mother. They didn't have much money, but they had a quiet life. Jake had just finished high school and didn't know what to do next. He worked part-time at a local store and spent most of his time playing video games or reading science fiction books. One day, everything changed. A man in a black suit came to their house. He looked serious and important. He handed Jake a letter and said, "This is from your uncle, Richard Benson. He has passed away." Jake was confused. He barely remembered his uncle. He had only seen him once when he was very young. Uncle Richard lived far away and was known as the strange one in the family. No one really talked about him. Jake opened the letter. It said that his uncle had left him everything he owned. There was a huge mansion, many acres of land, and a large amount of money. Jake could not believe it. He thought it was a mistake. "This can't be real," he said to the man. "It is very real," the man replied. "But there is one condition. To receive the full inheritance, you must live in your uncle's estate for 1 year." Jake didn't know what to say. It felt like a dream. He went to his mother and showed her the letter. She was shocked too, but told Jake to go and see the place. "You have nothing to lose," she said. A few days later, Jake packed his bags. Left. He traveled for hours to reach the estate. It was in the middle of nowhere, surrounded by thick trees and high hills. When he finally arrived, he saw a large gate with strange symbols on it. A robot voice said, "Welcome, Jake Benson." The gates opened slowly. Jake walked in, feeling nervous. The mansion was huge, old, and strange. It looked like something out of a movie. The doors opened by themselves as he walked closer. Inside, the house was even stranger. The walls had lights that changed colors. Some rooms were filled with machines that Jake did not understand. There were screens, buttons, and glowing panels. It didn't look like a normal house at all. Jake explored the house room by room. He found a kitchen, a large library, and a room full of plants. But the most interesting room was the one in the basement. He found it by accident. A part of the wall moved when he touched it. Behind it was a hidden door. He stepped inside. The room was dark and cold. In the middle, there was a glass tube. Inside the tube was a person. Or at least it looked like a person. She had silver blue skin and long white hair. Her eyes were closed. Jake was shocked. He didn't know what to do. Was she alive? Was she human? He pressed a button near the tube, and a soft voice spoke. "Cryo sleep ending, vital signs normal." The girl inside slowly opened her eyes. She looked at Jake. He stepped back, scared. "Who are you?" Jake asked. The girl didn't answer at first. She just looked around, then back at him. "I am Zara," she said in a quiet voice. "Where is Richard?" He's gone," Jake said. "I'm his nephew." Zara looked sad. She sat up and looked at the room. "He said I would wake up one day and someone would be here," she whispered. Jake didn't understand what was going on. Who was she? Why was she here? Why did his uncle keep her in a secret room? Zara looked at him. "You are now the owner of this house, and you must know the truth." Jake felt a chill run down his spine. He had come here thinking he was just getting some money and a big house. But now he had a strange alien girl talking to him, and things were about to get much more complicated. Jake could not sleep that night. He kept thinking about the strange girl in the basement. Her name was Zara, and she was not human. Her skin had a soft silver blue color, and her eyes glowed a little in the dark. She looked young, about his age. But there was something about her that felt ancient and wise. In the morning, Jake went back to the basement. Zara was already awake and looking around the room. She touched the walls and smiled sadly. "Richard was kind to me," she said. "He saved my life." Jake listened carefully. He still did not understand much. "Are you from another planet?" Zara nodded. "Yes, my ship crashed many years ago. I was hurt." Your uncle found me and helped me heal. He hid me here so no one would find me." Jake was quiet for a moment. "Why were you in that glass tube? It is called cryosleep. It helps my kind heal and rest for a long time. Richard said it was not safe for me to walk outside yet, so I slept until he said it was okay." Jake looked around the room. "But now he's gone. So what happens now?" Zara turned to face him. "Now you must decide. This house has many secrets. Richard trusted you to take care of it. And me?" Jake was not sure he was ready for this. He was just a normal guy. But something about Zara made him want to help. They spent the day exploring the mansion together. Zara showed him rooms he had not found yet. One room was filled with floating screens and glowing maps. Another room had strange machines that made food appear out of thin air. Jake tried a blue fruit that tasted like sweet ice cream. In one room, they found a small spaceship. It was round and shiny, and it looked like it had not been used in years. Zara walked around it slowly. "This is one of our escape pods," she said. "It is broken, but maybe we can fix it." Jake walked closer. "Can it take you back home?" Zara looked. "Down. Maybe, but home is very far. And I do not know if my people are still looking for me." Jake saw the sadness in her eyes. He wanted to say something but did not know what. He just nodded. Later that night, they sat in the library. The fire was warm and the room felt safe. Jake asked Zara more questions. "What was your world like?" Zara smiled. "It was full of tall trees, purple skies, and glowing rivers. We lived in peace. We studied science, art, and the stars. But one day a war came. We had to run. My ship was trying to escape, but it crashed here." Jake imagined her world. It sounded like something from his books. "Do you miss it?" "Yes," she said softly. "But now I'm here." They sat in silence for a while. Then Jake said, "I will help you. We can try to fix the pod. Maybe we can send a signal to your people." Zara looked at him. Her eyes were bright. "Thank you, Jake. You are kind like Richard." Over the next few days, Jake and Zara worked together. She taught him how to read the symbols on the machines. She showed him how to use the tools in the workshop. Jake was surprised at how fast he was learning. He also started to notice small things. Zara liked to hum when she worked. She moved with grace and always smiled when Jake made her laugh. Jake felt something change inside him. He was not just helping her because of duty. He liked being with her. One afternoon, they were working on the pod when a loud noise came from outside. Jake ran to the window. A black van had stopped at the gate. 3 men in suits stepped out and looked around. Zara's face turned serious. "Those are not normal visitors," Jake nodded. "They look like government agents. How did they find this place?" Zara backed away from the window. "Richard said they were watching. They want the technology. They will take me if they find me." Jake felt fear rise in his chest. He looked at Zara. "We have to hide you." They moved quickly. Zara returned to the hidden basement while Jake locked all the doors. He opened the gate and met the men outside. "Can I help you?" he asked. One man stepped forward. "We have questions about your uncle. Mind if we look around?" Jake forced a smile. "This is private property. You need a warrant." The men did not look happy, but they left after a few more words. Jake watched until the van was gone. He returned to Zara. She looked worried. "They will be back," she said. Jake nodded. "Then we have to be ready." He looked around the mansion. It was no longer just a big, strange house. It was now their safe place, and he would do anything to protect it and her. The next morning, Jake woke up early. He did not feel safe anymore. The visit from the government men had changed everything. They now knew that people were watching the house. Maybe someone had followed him when he arrived. Maybe someone had always known about his uncle's secrets. He made breakfast for Zara in the kitchen. She joined him quietly, her silver blue skin glowing softly in the sunlight. Jake noticed she looked tired. "I could not sleep well," she said. I had dreams of being taken, Jake frowned. I won't let that happen. We have to make a plan. They sat down and talked. Zara explained more about the house. Richard had created a hidden system inside the walls. It had cameras, alarms, and secret rooms. Zara showed Jake how to use a small screen that let him see every part of the house. There were also buttons that could lock doors and hide entrances. He was very smart, Jake said. He built a fortress. Zara nodded. He trusted machines more than people, but he trusted you too. They decided to start fixing the escape pod right away. The pod was dusty and old. Some parts were missing. Zara gave Jake a list of what they needed. Some of these parts are rare, she said. We may not find them in this house. Jake thought for a moment. There's a scrapyard in the next town. I can go and look. Zara looked worried. It is dangerous. They could be watching you. Jake smiled. I'll be careful. I'll wear a hat, maybe some sunglasses. Zara laughed a little. It was the first time she smiled that day. Jake left the house in the afternoon. He took an old truck that belonged to his uncle. On the way to town, he kept looking in the mirror, just in case someone was following him. But the road stayed empty. At the scrapyard, Jake searched through piles of broken machines, wires, and old tech. He found a few parts that looked close to what Zara had described. He talked to the man who owned the place. Looking for spaceship parts? The man joked. Jake laughed nervously. Just trying to fix something strange at home. When Jake returned, the sun was setting. He found Zara sitting in the garden looking at the sky. She took the parts and smiled. Some of these will work, she said. You did well. They worked through the night. Zara handled the inside of the pod, while Jake brought tools and checked wires. He watched her work. Her hands moved fast and gently, like she had done this 100 times. You really are from another world, he said softly. Zara looked at him. Yes, but now your world feels like mine too. Jake felt his heart beat faster. He quickly looked away. The next day they made more. Progress. The pod started to light up. The control screen turned on. Zara spoke in her own language, and the screen answered her. It is starting to wake up, she said. But we still need a few more parts. Jake nodded. We can get them, one trip at a time. Later, that evening, while Zara was resting, Jake sat in the library. He opened one of his uncle's old notebooks. It was full of strange drawings and notes. One page showed a map of the house. There were places Jake had not explored yet. He followed the map to a room on the second floor. Inside, he found old books, small alien tools, and a box marked emergency. He opened it and found something that looked like a key. He showed it to Zara. Her eyes widened. That is a memory key. It can hold data from my people. They plugged it into one of the machines. A glowing image appeared in the air. It showed a message from Richard. If you are seeing this, then I am gone. Jake, you are now in charge. Zara is not just my friend. She is important. She holds knowledge from her people that many would try to steal. Protect her. Help her go home, or give her a home here. I believe in you. Jake felt tears in his eyes. Zara reached out and touched his hand. He loved you, she said. He believed you were special. Jake looked at her. I'm not special. I'm just trying to do the right thing. Zara smiled. That is what makes you special. Outside, the wind blew harder. The night felt cold. But inside the house, something warm was growing between them. They were no longer just a boy and an alien. They were partners. And maybe something more. But danger still waited outside. And soon, it would come knocking again. The days passed quietly, but Jake and Zara knew it would not last. They kept working on the escape pod. Every day, they fixed wires, tested systems, and checked the control screen. The machine was old, but Zara was patient. She taught Jake how to use the tools from her world. He learned quickly. They worked well as a team, but one morning they woke up to a sound. A soft beep came from the main screen in the control room. Zara touched a button, and a message appeared. Incoming scan detected. Jake stared at the screen. What does that mean? Someone is trying to find this place, Zara said. It could be them. Jake felt his stomach twist. The men from the government. We're back. Maybe they had satellites. Maybe they had drones. Either way, they were close. Zara looked calm, but her eyes showed worry. We have to hide the pod. If they see it, they will take it. Jake helped her move tools and cover the pod with metal sheets. They shut off the lights in the hangar and closed the doors. Then they ran to the control room. The scan is weak, Zara said. They don't know the exact spot, but they will come to check, Jake nodded. We have to be ready. They spent the next hours preparing the house. They locked doors, shut windows, and set alarms. Zara showed Jake how to turn on the defense system. The house could close itself with metal walls. It even had smoke that hid it from cameras. Later that day, they heard a sound from the sky. A drone flew over the trees. It hovered for a moment, then moved on. Jake and Zara watched from a hidden room. They are close, Jake whispered. We must not panic, Zara said. We must think. That night, they did not sleep. They sat in the library, talking in low voices. Zara told Jake more about her people. She spoke of their kindness, their wisdom, and their long journeys through the stars. We believe in peace, she said, but others do not. If they learn I am here, they may come with weapons. Jake looked at her. Then we need to fix that pod fast. The next day, Jake went to town again. He wore a hat and sunglasses. He moved carefully. At the scrapyard, he found the last few pieces they needed. As he walked back to his truck, he noticed a man watching him. The man wore black clothes and spoke into a small device. Jake felt fear rise in his chest. He got into the truck quickly and drove away. On the road, he looked back and saw a black car behind him. He did not go straight home. He drove around the hills, took a long way through the forest, and only returned when he was sure he was not being followed. Zara was waiting. Did they follow you? I don't think so, Jake said. But they were there. They know my face. They used the new parts to finish the power core of the pod. It lit up bright blue. The ship gave a soft hum. It is almost ready, Zara said. Just one last test. That evening, they tried to send a signal. Zara spoke in her language, and the pod sent a bright pulse into the sky. It was fast, like a shooting star. What did you say? Jake asked. I told them I am alive, Zara said. And that I am not alone. Jake looked at her. Will they come? Zara nodded slowly. Yes, if they are still out there, they will come. That night, as they sat near the fire, Zara turned to Jake. You have done so much for me, she said. You did not have to, Jake smiled. I wanted to. I like helping you. And I like being with you. Zara looked at him with soft eyes. She touched his hand. I feel the same. Just then, the alarm beeped. Jake jumped up and looked at the screen. A vehicle was moving toward the gate. It's them, Jake said. They found us. Zara stood. Then this is the time to protect the house. They ran to the control room. Jake pressed the lockdown button. Metal walls slid over the windows. Doors locked. Lights turned red. The vehicle stopped outside. Men stepped out. They carried tools and scanners. One of them held a small camera. Jake and Zara watched from the screen. They did not speak. They just waited. A voice came from outside. Jake Benson, we know you are in there. We just want to talk. Jake looked at Zara. They want more than that. Zara nodded. They want me. Jake took a deep breath. Then we don't. Let them in. Outside, the men started setting up equipment. A loud sound shook the gate. They were trying to break in. Jake looked at Zara. We need to make a new plan. Zara touched the pod controls. If we must run, we can. But we only get one chance. Jake looked at her. Then we make it count. The house shook again. Danger had arrived. But Jake was not the same boy he was before. He was ready to fight for his new life, and for the girl who had become more than just a secret from the stars. The attack on the gate began just after sunrise. Loud bangs echoed through the valley as the agents tried to break in. Jake and Zara stood in the control room, watching everything on the screens. The house's defense systems held strong for now, but they both knew it would not last forever. "They brought more people," Jake said, "and bigger tools." Zara stared at the screen. "They are determined. They will not stop." Jake touched the button and spoke into the speaker. "You are on private property. Go away," a voice came back. "We know what you're hiding. Let us in, or we come in by force." Zara looked at Jake. "They will destroy everything. We cannot wait any longer. We must go." Jake nodded. "We'll finish the last test on the pod. Then we leave." They ran to the hangar where the escape pod was hidden. The metal sheets were pulled away. The pod stood ready, its surface glowing faintly. Zara climbed in and began checking the systems. Jake brought the emergency pack. They had prepared tools, food, maps, and the memory key. "Fuel is good," Zara said. "Systems are green. The launch will be hard, but it will work." Outside, the noise grew louder. The men had brought a machine to cut through the gate. Jake looked back at the screen. "We have 10 minutes, maybe less." Zara turned to him. "Jake, are you sure about this? Once we leave, there is no coming back for a while." Jake looked into her glowing eyes. "I'm sure. I want to be with you, wherever that is." She smiled, then pressed a button. The pod doors opened. Jake climbed in and sat next to her. The seats adjusted around them. Lights blinked. The ship came to life. Back in the control room, alarms began to scream. The outer wall had been broken. Men in black ran toward the house. "They're inside," Jake said. Zara closed the pod doors. "Hold tight." Launching now. With a sudden jolt, the pod lifted from the floor. A hidden door in the roof of the hangar slid open. The ship shot upward faster than Jake expected. He held on tightly as the house and trees became smaller below them. Inside the pod, everything was shaking. Lights flashed. A loud sound filled the air. Then, after a few seconds, silence. The sky outside turned dark. Stars began to appear. Jake looked out the window. "We made it," Zara nodded. "Yes, but we must keep moving. That signal I sent, it might bring help, or it might bring danger." Jake nodded. "Let's find your people." Zara pressed more buttons. The ship followed a path she had set. It would take them beyond Earth's orbit and into deep space. It would take time. Hours passed. They ate small meals and rested when they could. The pod was small but safe. Jake felt strange leaving everything behind, but he did not regret it. "I never thought I'd leave Earth," he said. Zara smiled. "Now you are a traveler, like me." Jake looked at her. "Do you think your people will accept me?" "If they see your heart, they will," she said. "You are brave, kind, and loyal. That is rare." They sat close, watching the stars move around them. Every now and then, a light blinked on the screen. "Any ships nearby?" Jake asked. Zara shook her head. "Not yet, but we are getting close to one of our old relay stations. If it still works, we can send a stronger message." Suddenly, the screen flashed red. "Unidentified ship approaching," Zara read. "Fast speed." Jake leaned forward. "Is it your people?" Zara looked at the shape on the screen. "No, this ship is not from my world. It could be pirates or someone worse." Jake stood. "What do we do?" "We hide," Zara said. "There is a moon nearby. We will land and shut down power. Maybe they will not see us." The pod changed direction. They landed on a small rocky moon and turned off all lights. Inside, everything went dark. They sat in silence. The strange ship passed by, slowly scanning the area. After a few minutes, it left. Jake let out a breath. That was close. Zara nodded. Too close. We must hurry. They waited a while, then turned the pod back on. The ship flew again, faster this time. Jake watched as stars stretched in front of them. They were far from home, but together. And as long as they were together, they had hoped. Zara placed her hand over his. We are not running anymore. We are searching. Jake smiled. Then let's find what we're looking for. The pod moved forward, into the stars, carrying a boy, an alien girl, and a future full of unknown wonders. The stars outside the pod blinked like tiny lights. Jake sat beside Zara, watching the ship fly through space. It had been 2 days since they left Earth. They were far away now, moving toward the edge of the solar system. Zara was quiet, her eyes focused on the screen. She was checking the map. The ship's energy was still strong, and the signal they had sent was still active. We should reach the relay station soon, Zara said. It will help us send a stronger message. Jake nodded. And if someone hears us? Then we wait for a reply, she said, and hope it comes from the right people. Jake tried to relax, but his mind was full of questions. What if her people didn't answer? What if Earth sent more ships after them? He looked at Zara. She looked calm, but he could tell she was worried. They shared meals in silence. They rested when they could. The pod was small, but it felt safe. Jake had never imagined leaving Earth. Now he was flying through space with an alien girl he barely knew a few weeks ago. He looked at her again. Are you scared? Zara looked at him for a moment. A little. I miss my home. But I'm glad I'm not alone. Jake smiled. Me too. Later that day, the pod started to slow down. A small moon came into view. Behind it was a station floating in space. It looked old and damaged, but it still had power. That's the relay, Zara said. Let's hope it works. They landed the pod near the station and stepped out. The space was quiet. Stars sparkled around them. The station was covered in metal plates, with wires hanging out. Inside, it was cold and dark. Lights flickered. Jake followed Zara through narrow halls. She touched the walls, speaking in her language. Slowly, the station woke up. Screens turned on. Lights became steady. Zara smiled. It remembers me. They reached the control room. Zara connected the memory key they had brought. She uploaded a message, a signal asking for help, asking to return home. Now we wait, she said. They spent the night in the pod. Jake looked out the window. He could not sleep. Do you think they'll come soon? He asked. Zara shrugged. Time moves differently for my people. They could be near or far. We just have to be ready. The next day, the station picked up a reply. A ship was coming. Zara read the message. It is from my people, she said. A ship is near. They received our call. They are coming. Jake smiled with relief, but then a second signal appeared. It was from Earth. A military ship was also on its way. Zara's smile faded. We have 2 visitors now, and only one will be friendly. They had little time. Jake helped Zara move the pod behind the station, hiding it from view. They turned off its lights and powered down. Hours later, they saw the Earth ship first. It was large and fast. It stopped near the station and sent out a small shuttle. Zara and Jake watched from the shadows. The Earth team wore spacesuits. They entered the station and started scanning. They're looking for us, Jake whispered. We cannot let them find us, Zara said. If they do, they will take us back. Or worse. They stayed quiet as the Earth team searched the halls. After a long time, they gave up and left. The Earth ship floated near the station, waiting. Soon, the second ship arrived. It was smooth and bright, shaped like a bird. It made no noise. It stopped beside the station and sent a message. Zara, daughter of the stars, we have come. Zara stood and stepped forward. She spoke into the mic. I am here. I am safe. I bring a human. He helped me. He is my friend. The alien ship opened. Its door. A soft light came out. Zara looked at Jake. "Are you ready?" Jake nodded. "Yes." They left the pod and floated toward the ship. As they got closer, they saw tall figures waiting inside. They looked like Zara but older. One of them spoke. "Welcome home. And welcome, human." Jake stepped inside with Zara. The door closed behind them. The alien ship turned and flew into the stars, leaving Earth behind. Jake looked at Zara. She smiled and held his hand. "This is not the end," she said. "This is a new beginning." Jake believed her. And as the stars grew brighter, he felt ready for whatever came next. The alien ship moved through the stars, smooth and silent. Jake sat beside Zara, holding her hand. He looked out the wide windows. The stars were brighter and bigger than he had ever seen before. Every moment felt new. He wondered what kind of world he would find on the other side of space. The aliens who welcomed them looked like Zara. They had the same silver blue skin and bright eyes. Some wore long robes. Others had simple clothes. Their voices were soft, and they moved with calm and grace. They called Zara by her full name and treated her with care and respect. It made Jake realize how important she was to them. They took Jake and Zara to a quiet room on the ship. The walls changed colors, blue and gold. The air smelled sweet like flowers. There was food on the table, strange fruits and drinks that sparkled. Zara smiled and showed Jake which ones to try. He tasted a purple fruit that was soft and sweet. After eating, a wise-looking alien came in. She was older, with long white hair and a kind face. She spoke to Zara in their language, then turned to Jake. "You are welcome here, Jake," she said. "Thank you for helping Zara. We heard your message. We know you risked everything." Jake nodded, feeling shy. "I just wanted to help." The woman smiled. "That is a rare thing. Many would have chosen fear. You chose hope." Later, they showed Jake and Zara around the ship. There was a garden full of glowing plants. There was a room with screens showing pictures of distant worlds. Jake watched in wonder. He realized how small Earth was in this great universe. Zara held his hand as they walked. "You are safe now. My people trust you." Jake smiled at her. "I'm glad I came with you." Days passed as the ship flew through space. Jake learned a few words in Zara's language. He talked with the other aliens, learning about their history, their dreams, and their travels. Some told him stories of loss, worlds, and peaceful stars. He listened, amazed at all there was to know, but Zara sometimes looked worried. One night, Jake found her sitting alone by the window, staring at the stars. "Are you okay?" he asked. Zara nodded, but her voice was quiet. "I am home, but everything feels different now. I miss my people, but Earth changed me. You changed me." Jake sat beside her. "Change can be good. Maybe you can help your people see new things, too." She looked at him. "Will you stay with me?" Jake reached for her hand. "If you want me to, yes." She smiled, tears shining in her eyes. Soon, the ship slowed down. They had reached Zara's home world. Through the window, Jake saw a planet with purple skies and shining rivers. Tall trees grew everywhere, just as Zara had described. The city glowed with soft lights. Ships moved quietly in the air. Everything looked peaceful and beautiful. The ship landed. A group of Zara's family and friends stood waiting. They hugged her and spoke words of joy. Some looked at Jake with curiosity, but no one was unkind. A leader from the city met with Jake. She asked him about Earth, about his family, and about why he helped Zara. Jake answered honestly. "She was alone. I could not leave her. She is my friend." The leader nodded. "A true friend is a rare gift. You are welcome here, Jake." The days that followed were full of wonder. Jake saw the great library of Zara's people. He learned how they grew food and healed sickness. He saw art and music unlike anything on Earth, but Jake also missed home. He missed his mother and his Small town. Zara noticed. Do you want to go back? She asked softly. Jake shook his head. Not yet. There is too much I want to see. I want to help you. And maybe, one day, you can visit my world too. Zara smiled. I would like that. In the end, Jake and Zara stood together on a hill, looking over the city. The sun set, turning the sky gold and purple. Jake knew he had changed. He was not just a boy who had inherited a fortune. He was a friend, an explorer, and maybe something more. And wherever the future took them, he knew they would face it together, across the stars.